When you think about Attack on Titan, what do you think about? Well, if I had to guess, you probably thought about morally gray characters that do both good and bad things. You think people that can bite their hands and transform into giant skinless humanoids, true nightmare fuel. You think about heritage and the passing down of burdens, and most importantly, you think about freedom. And while everyone intrinsically knows these things when we hear them, what are the moments that define the very things we seem to know so well, and what do they mean? The other day, I was thinking about just this very topic. What are the moments which define Attack on Titan that forever people will remember as examples of the series' most important traits? So in today's video, I decided to take a look at what these moments are and what we can learn from them. So, take a ride with me through the past of Attack on Titan to uncover the most definable moments of the series. As well, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe, sharing your thoughts on the video and what you think about AOT's most definable moments. Let's begin. I think it's rather fitting to have the initial episode of the series here to give you a perfect example of definable moments so we can really understand what I mean. The Marley Titan Shifters attack on Paradis not only would help launch Attack on Titan into the hearts and minds and into immense popularity, but it had many examples of Attack on Titan's most definable moments that would go on to be legendary. For example, in the episode when Eren wakes up after seeing horrible visions, in this moment we see many images. Some which would happen in that very first episode, like a Titanized Dinah Fritz picking up Carla Yeager, but also it would feature moments that would happen later in the final season, like the Marley Guard uniform seen at the Tiber's household along with the toys the children would play with. All of this is an example of Attack on Titan's very gentle use of time travel through the idea of consciousness and the power of the founding Titan. Eren was receiving broadcasts of events that wouldn't happen until nearly a decade later, technically speaking, all from Ymir and his future self. This theme would also pick up in Season 2 as well, when Eren would punch Dinah Fritz, receiving his first glimpse of what happens when he comes into contact with royal blood. While we were none the wiser to what happened in that moment for a long time, we know that after that, Eren would change to be slightly more mature and slightly more quiet. This would once again occur when Eren would at the end of Season 3 touch Historia, and being royal blood, he unlocked the future and finally he understood what was happening to him. He saw all which came before and all which would yet to come. His father's past life in Marley, and the horrible events which would happen to him and his family. Then, the crushing of basically the entire Reese family as if it were nothing. He also saw the end of the world by his own hands. While we didn't know at the time what this meant, it was the series first revealed to us of something like time travel through memories occurring. Another huge motif of this episode would be the timeless quote, "birds in a cage," which would be a reference to the most prevalent theme of the series, freedom. This is an important theme for various reasons, but mainly for Eren, Yeager, which is one of his most popular catchphrases besides Tatake, or the come sink. Speaking of, no, I'm not going to ask the question. Eren's entire character is about the pursuit of freedom and his feelings of being trapped inside the walls. Like a bird in a cage while a bird flies freely over them, without a care, is a perfect capture of everything Attack on Titan's themes are about. Freedom in this series may often be contributed to Eren's catchphrase, but it goes much deeper than just that. Freedom is something pretty much everyone wants in this series, but nobody can ever truly get. Marley wanted to be free of the persecution of the Eldians and vice versa. Ymir Fritz, the very first Titan, sought to free the 7 pigs, and by doing so, she would be hunted down, leading to the 14-year curse for Titan shifters and the creation of the Titans. Freedom is not often gained without significant sacrifice in this series, whether it be the people behind the walls who chose to give up their freedom for security, or be it Eren who chooses to genocide the entirety of life outside the walls. Attack on Titan often reminds us that freedom comes with a very hefty price. One of my favorite themes of Attack on Titan is how the series handles the human struggle and our nature as people. In other words, things that define us as humans and cannot be changed. I think the best example of this is probably Erwin's words that rang true throughout the entirety of the series. people will keep fighting until there is only one person left. Of course, I'm sort of paraphrasing there. This perfectly encapsulates in only just one sentence what we as humans at the end of the day struggle with: conflict. Many people in Attack on Titan claim to have a way to resolve this. Marley, for example, feels as if all conflict will resolve if they are just able to persecute and wipe out the Eldian race entirely, and of course, then dominate the world. However, what they fail to realize is that conflict is all around them despite the Eldian existence. The first episode of the final season showcases this very theme as we see Marley at war with a totally different faction of the East, which would reveal that many factions are at war with Marley. As well, we have Flock, a man who went pretty much insane after a suicide charge that he was the only survivor of and formed the Jaegerists with Eren behind the idea that they will put a stop to conflict through authoritarian control and the elimination of dissenting opinions through the rumbling, and as well killing their own people who may disagree with them. However, what every single one of these factions struggles to understand is that conflict is unavoidable. Humans destroy each other, love each other, grow with each other, and go through hell and back with each other through conflict. Because it is the very nature of human conflict that allows us to progress as a society and a civilization. Think of it this way. If humanity were a food dish, we would have many different flavors, right? And these flavors are due to everyone's differing viewpoints, outlooks, struggles, experiences, and knowledge, along with other countless variables. Each one of us is unique, and because of that, no two people think alike. So, inevitably, there will be conflict no matter what. Even if Marley or the Jaegerists are successful in genocide, there will only be people to rise from the ashes to create even more conflict, whether it be over the disagreement of genocide, war, or simply petty disagreements. Humanity has seen it all and done it all in that regard, and Attack on Titan tells us that even with our best intentions, humanity is bound to repeat the same mistakes and actions. But that shouldn't be something worth condemning or being depressed about. It's just what and who we are, and all we can do is take the necessary steps to prevent those actions and then help each other heal from the aftermath. Eren, Flock, Erwin, Marley, Paradis, King Fritz, the East, they'll never stop war because war never changes. It's all based off the one and single reality that, quote, war was always here. Before man, war waited for him. The ultimate trade awaiting its ultimate practitioner. War is the truest form of divination. This to me is actually one of Attack on Titan's most important themes and motifs, as without this very conflict, there would be no Attack on Titan. This series is one about war and about conflict. Nothing more, nothing else. Every single theme and character is born through the reaction and consequence of conflict, and all which may come with it. Eren's entire character, wanting revenge against his mother's death and the persecution of his people, is one born through the centuries-old inevitable conflict of two warring factions, Marley and Eldia. It's just the continuation, and in some cases replication, of all which came before them. Everything is a cycle and connected to one another in this series, and it's through the cycle of conflict which gives it all meaning and context. If you want an example of this in its most base form, go into my comment section. Right now, see what people will say about this video. Or go to Twitter, search up Elon Musk, and see all of his mentions. See what they say. Search up any political forum, read it. No matter the importance or lack thereof, conflict is created through simply existing. It cannot be eliminated, not until only one man is left standing. I think one of the most important moments in this series, maybe the most important arguably, is Carla's death and what this moment represents and how it went on to define the theme of revenge in Attack on Titan. Of course, we know how the scene plays out. Reiner and Barklophicus put a hole in the wall of Shinganshina, where Eren and his family lives, to flood out the founding Titan, so that Marley can capture it and move along with their plans of world domination. However, by letting in the Titans, they let out the monster that laid within Eren. Dinah Fritz would eat Carla Jaeger and set forth a monstrous line of events. The death of his mother drives Eren to seek revenge at all costs to kill every single Titan and kill the people who did this to him. Eren's entire motivation from episode 1 until the final episode is all about revenge. It's what drives him because he knows if he gives up now, then surely this will only repeat itself again.
Outside. You really have no idea.
I'm not stupid. I know it's ugly out there. I know there's death around every corner. But can't just give up on it. 'Cause otherwise this nightmare's never gonna end!
This is what he needs to put a stop to, is the needless violence and cycle of revenge created between the conflict of Marley and Eldia. There is a great example of this in the lead up to the declaration of war, where Reiner meets Eren and begs for forgiveness, even offering up his own life so that Eren won't kill his people. And it seems at some point, Eren comes to recognize that the people of Marley are the exact same as the people on Paradis. There is no difference because of the conflict I mentioned earlier, but as well because people will be people and strive for human wants and needs. However, even recognizing this, Eren still chooses to go forward with this plan in due part to Reiner and Barclophagus killing his mother. He can't, and he won't back down now, not just because he finally got his closure. And if anything, Eren denies Reiner's closure of those events, which you can tell by the end he regrets everything he's done, but to Eren, it isn't enough and it will never be enough. The only way this ends is by ending it all. Another fantastic example is Levi's need for revenge against Zeke, which causes him to lose nearly everything, even his life. Levi, despite being stone-faced and hard, is still someone who cares very deeply about the people who are in his squad. So, when they drink Zeke's spinal fluid-infused wine, all Levi can do is hope to cope with the situation and kill his friends who are now trying to eat him. All the while, Zeke makes his escape. But eventually, Levi catches up and takes Zeke by lodging a thunder spear within his abdomen. Zeke, not really caring too much about this fact, goes ahead and detonates the spear, launching Levi and Zeke from the carriage, both gravely injured. But alas, Zeke can heal, Levi cannot. The explosion damn near kills him, taking his eye and taking his fingers and ability to walk. Levi's pursuit of revenge left him crippled and nearly dead, and because of that, severely nerfing his fighting capabilities that made him so special in the first place. While an Ackerman can still outperform any soldier, a crippled Ackerman can't fight Titans or fight at all, at least without help. However, I feel this theme is also tailor-fit for Eren's foil, Miss Gabby Braun's vendetta, one of Attack on Titan's most important and best characters. Gabby Braun's vendetta in Attack on Titan is a complex and emotionally charged aspect of her character. Her fervent desire for revenge against the people of Paradis Island, whom she labels as devils, is rooted in a combination of trauma, indoctrination, and a deep-seated need for redemption. Witnessing the brutal deaths of her friends during a Marleyan attack on Paradis Island serves as a pivotal catalyst for her vendetta. This traumatic event leaves a profound scar on her psyche, fueling her rage and determination to avenge her fallen comrades. Marleyan propaganda also plays a significant role in shaping Gabby's beliefs. From a young age, she, like many other Eldian children in Marley, is subjected to a relentless narrative that portrays the Eldians of Paradis Island as monstrous and dangerous. This indoctrination perpetuates a sense of fear and hatred, reinforcing her resolve to eliminate what she sees as a grave threat to the world. Gabby's family history further influences her vendetta, as her lineage is deeply intertwined with Marley's mission and loyalty to the nation. She carries the weight of her family's expectations and sees her mission as a means of proving her loyalty and worth as a warrior. Her complex character arc and evolving beliefs makes Gabby Braun quite a compelling and conflicted figure in the Attack on Titan narrative, showcasing the series' exploration of the consequences of indoctrination, and of course, the cycle of hatred. And that's the word of the day, cycle. This entire video has been building up to Attack on Titan's most definable moment that is permeated throughout the entire series, the cycle of revenge. Everything I've discussed here today is an example of the cycle of hatred that continues to be no matter what. Humans, for whatever reason, are born with healing love and deleterious hatred, and it's love which drives many things, but hate as well that drives some of humanity's darkest aspects. I think this is seen through war in the series the best, in particular the use of the rumbling mostly. Eren basically declares war on the world due to his hatred for the people outside Paradis, who continue to prosecute their race for something their ancestors did, no less. How about Flock Forrester, who believes everyone outside Paradis deserves to die for what Marley did to his people? Gabby Braun, who contributed to the cycle of hatred by hating the Eldians, the very race she is. Reiner, who gave in to his hatred of aliens to prove to Marley he was better than them by murdering them. Annie, who killed to provide for her family and for praise. I can name so many examples. Damned near everyone in some aspect has contributed in this series to the cycle of hatred in Attack on Titan to some degree, because it is these moments that define Attack on Titan to tell a very human story, one rooted in the ugly truths that humanity cares not to mention or talk about because of how uncomfortable they may be. No man is truly good, no man is truly evil. There is only man, and man will war just as much as they'll love. It's what humanity is. Attack on Titan is really just trying to show us who we are as people and how things like war happen and affect humanity as a whole and on a personal scale. And Isayama did that through the moments which defined Attack on Titan through examples like Eren, Gabby, Flock, Erwin, Carla, and so many other moments and characters. What I've come to learn making this video is that Isayama's truest gift is being able to say and touch on so many different themes, commentaries, and motifs without ever pointing it out directly or spoon-feeding it. Attack on Titan is a story that has sides and many different beliefs to what it means. But that's the point, and that's why AOT is such a revered piece of art. Attack on Titan cannot be defined by one moment or meaning, because humanity isn't defined by its success, mistakes, or decisions. You can't define it. We are just people, and Attack on Titan is a story about those people. If you enjoyed the video, then join my Discord. Link in the description and pinned comment below. Also, financially support the channel by becoming a patron and gaining access to my One Piece arc reviews. Thanks for watching, bye-bye.